guys, and welcome to a new video. If you are new here, my name is Elena and I am a mommy of 3. I have a 5-year-old Calvin, a 3-year-old Aaron, and an almost 3-month-old Barret. So today we're going to be doing a newborn Q&A. I've been getting a lot of random questions on different videos, so I thought we would just throw them all together into one big Q&A, and I also asked for more questions on YouTube as well, so we've got lots of stuff to cover. I'm sure there's going to be more questions after I get to the end of, the questions that I already have. So if you have more questions, leave them down below. And if there's a bunch of them, I guess we'll do another one of these Q&A videos. So let's start out at the beginning. I got one question, one comment on a video a few days ago where she had a bunch of different questions all in one comment. So we'll start with her and then we'll go on to all of the other questions everybody has. I feel like this could be kind of a big video, so we'll see. Okay, first question, how is breastfeeding going? Breastfeeding is going super awesome with baby Barret. I struggled a lot with my older two, just trying to get them to latch. They were not very good at latching, but with Barret this time, it's been super awesome. I did do a video all about like breastfeeding like essentials and stuff, and there are these nipple pads, these little like gel nipple pads from Lancino that I will 1,000,000% recommend to everybody because they were super duper awesome, and I swear they saved my nipples this time around. But yeah, overall, breastfeeding is going super awesome with Bear. It's really nice because this is the first baby where I've been a stay-at-home mom, so I haven't been pumping very much at all, and my milk has regulated super well. I'm not experiencing a bunch of leaks and stuff, which is just awesome because I'm letting my body naturally regulate its own milk supply instead of pumping and, preparing to go back to work and stuff like that. So I'm just letting him nurse whenever he wants to nurse, which is all freaking day, all the time. I don't even like keep track of like when he last nursed. Like with my first 2 kiddos, sometimes I was like, oh, it's only been an hour and a half. Like, let's try to distract them and see if they want to do something else instead of drinking a boobie. But now with Barret, I just let him drink a boobie whenever he wants a boobie. I'm a lot more go with the flow this time around with baby number 3 in a lot of ways, but breastfeeding is also one of them. So yeah, I know all about the struggles. I definitely struggled my first 2, but this time around with Bear, things have been super awesome. Also, newborn cloth diapering is going really well. Barret is actually almost out of all of his newborn cloth diapers. We really only have a handful of things that are still fitting at this stage. So he's 12 and a half-ish weeks old, and he probably weighs like 14 and a half-ish pounds. So we only have a few items that he's still really wearing from the newborn collection of stuff. So he's growing into the one-size diapers all the time. She asks if I've tried wool covers, and we have tried some wool longies like pants and then different like shorts and stuff to go over cloth diapers, but I haven't tried any with Barret so far. My mom made some like old wool sweaters into pants for my older kiddos, and we used to use those sometimes like at nighttime especially, and just randomly. It's summertime, so I'm really not thinking about putting pants on Barret at this point, but yeah, one day we might get back into wool. Everything that I use that's wool is all stuff that's like, sweaters we got from Goodwill. I wouldn't buy new wool items just because I'm vegan and I wouldn't spend the money. I wouldn't buy brand new wool things personally for my kiddos. But yeah, if we have like recycled, upcycled things that like my mom has gotten for us, I'm totally fine using those. How do you get enough sleep? That's a funny question. Make sure you married somebody who is super duper awesome. That's all I got to say. My husband is super awesome. He will get up and do most of the diaper changes in the middle of the night. I'm gonna be up for 30 minutes at least nursing the baby, so he can get up for 5 minutes to change the diaper, right? So yeah, on the weekends, me and my husband, we've done this for a long time now, but like Saturday mornings I get to sleep in, Sunday mornings he gets to sleep in. Just the little things like that, that really makes a big difference. If you only have the one kiddo, if you are expecting your first baby, definitely take the advice, sleep when baby sleeps. You don't need to do all the dishes. You don't need to, vacuum. You don't need to start the laundry right this second. If baby is having a really good nap day, just chill, just take the time and chill and don't worry about all of the other stupid household chores that are going on. Honestly, I really wish that with my older 2, I would have taken more time to just like lay around and, not worry so much about taking care of the house. nobody's gonna die if the laundry's not done today, you know, like stuff like that. It's just try to like just go with the flow a little bit more. If baby's having a really good nap day, like take advantage of it and you have a really good nap day too. She asks what his nursery looks like. I guess I could take some shots and overlay it here so you guys can kind of see what's going on in there. We've done it a little bit differently than we did with my older two. My older two were in the nursery back to back. There were only 22 months between them. And so the nursery stayed pretty much the same between my first and my second. And then we moved those two boys into the old nursery room and made the smaller bedroom into the nursery this time around. So it's a different room than it used to be, and I've added a couple little extra things in there, kind of changed things up a little bit, but it doesn't really have like much of a theme. It was like a woodland creatures theme with my older two, and that's kind of still in there, but it's just kind of like whatever. It's not really like super themed or super adorable or anything like that. It's just kind of functional. It also houses our giant bookshelf, which has like, it's just a mess. There's like stuff all over it. What does play look like? So at this point, Barret, like he's almost 3 months old. He lays, we do tummy time all the time. He's laying on the floor and lifting his head up. He still isn't rolling any direction for me, but he does like to lay on his belly, and you know, each week he's spending more and more time on his belly. Like he might do, you know, he only wants to be on his belly for like 3 minutes, and then he might go 5 minutes, then he might go 7 minutes, you know. He's probably pretty content for at least like 5 to 7 minutes at this point. So it's pretty awesome. He's really having a good time being on his belly. He's got 2 older brothers, so playtime involves them showing him all of their toys and stuff like that. It's really awesome having the older 2 kids because honestly, they're great at distracting him when I need to like do stuff, you know? So yeah, playtime is really just mostly tummy time. He's not reaching for anything yet. He's just kind of observing, you know, watching the world and all that. I do love to go outside with him. We all go outside. We try to get outside every single morning before it gets super duper hot. So he will usually sit in the little bouncer seat thing, and I'll just like bounce him while we're all like sitting at the table out on the patio, or like the boys are playing and whatnot. So he likes to go outside with us. Even like on the front porch, like if it's raining outside, we sit on the front porch, so we're kind of, you know, shielded from the weather. And he'll just chill in his little bouncer and kind of observe the world. That's pretty much the extent of his playtime right now. What books or resources did you use to prepare for baby care? Honestly, I don't really remember doing much of anything other than getting online, and maybe like I had the Baby Center app and I would, you know, get on the different forums and read all the random things people were posting on there. Mostly, you know, just like internet research, I guess, but I grew up, my mom babysat my 2 nieces when I was in like high school and college, so we hung out with little babies, you know. I kind of, you know, I didn't feel super duper nervous about having a newborn because I had experienced, you know, these little girls being at our house every day all the time, you know, so I wasn't really like super nervous about it. I didn't really like get any like library books or anything to like see what all the baby stuff is about. I think I did buy like what to expect when you're expecting, but I don't think I ever like read it or anything. Are you tracking milestones? Yes, I have an app on my phone that's just like a notepad kind of thing, and I still have Calvin's milestones in there, and I still have Aaron's milestones in there. So yeah, I'm tracking Barrett's like that. I just write down, you know, like today, like July 15th, he rolled over or whatever. So that's in there. I can see it and compare all the babies to each other. I know it's a terrible thing to do, but I have all of the baby's notes on my phone. With Calvin, I did have a baby book, but I make baby scrapbooks with each of them, and I like that style a little bit better. It's easier for me to just like compile a bunch of pictures and throw it, you know, like this is all of the 1 month pictures, these are all the 2 month pictures, and I find that to be a little bit easier for me to accomplish than going through a baby book and like doing it the more traditional, like sit down kind of way, you know? So I did have a baby book for Calvin, my first, but it's not really filled out very much. And then I made him his scrapbook. So for the babies, I make a scrapbook that has like, you know, the first few pages are all just like their delivery and their first couple days home. And then I do 1 page per month, and then some extra pages at the end, you know? So yeah, that's kind of just the style that I do. And then somewhere randomly in the baby book, I'll have a section where I actually write down where what the milestones are and the dates and stuff like that. All right, moving on. This video is gonna be super long, guys. I've got a few questions about rash creams for cloth diapers, and I will leave a link down below to the site that I always use. I always go to this website, and let me look it up right now so I can tell you what it's actually called. It's called allaboutclothdiapers.com, and you can just search cloth diaper safe cream, and it's like the second thing that comes up, and I always consult that site before I try something new. I think on that site they tell you like the different ingredients you should try to avoid. A lot of people ask about zinc. Zinc will stain, but it stains white. So if you're using a bunch of white inserts or white diapers, to me that's not a big deal if it's staining white, okay? I haven't had any issues with, zinc causing repelling or anything, where the water just pools up on it. I haven't had any problems like that using any zinc creams. We have my favorite cream ever, which is not vegan, by the way, is the Burt's Bees rash cream, and it's 40% zinc, and if the boys ever have an actual rash, I use that, and overnight it's totally better. It's always done great things for me. But just for like maintenance, like when you don't want baby to get a rash, baby's butt is just a little bit, little red, I like to use, the lower zinc containing creams. Like currently we're using the Assembly one. There was like Cloud or something. I don't remember what that one's called. Cloud Island is one of the last ones that we used. Oh, we do have, what is that called? Hello Bello up here, but it's like a weird texture. It's like grainy almost. It's like kind of chunky. Like it's just a weird texture, but it is a little bit thicker than other creams. Like for just everyday maintenance, I like to use stuff that has like maybe like 14% zinc. So that's stuff like that Cloud Island I mentioned. Like the Honest Company has one. Those are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. But yeah, consult that website. They'll tell you everything that's okay and what's not okay to use on cloth diapers. I got another question about folding flats onto a newborn because it can be kind of bulky, and I will send you over to a video that I did during the flats challenge week this year. I'll link it down below, just like flat folds for a newborn. Using half flats, and I also used one size bird's eye on Barret. He was like maybe a month-ish old when we did the flats challenge this year, so I'll leave that down below. Were you able to do skin to skin with your cesarean? So I assume you're asking like in the room where they're operating. I did not do skin to skin. I didn't ask about it. It wasn't like a super big deal to me if I got to do it or not, because honestly, I kind of assumed that Bear would probably be going, to the NICU or something, or at least like being monitored and stuff right after he was born, because that's what happened with my first two, my older boys, and Bear did come at 37 weeks, so a little bit early. So I didn't ask about it. I didn't do it in the room, but we were immediately put back in our, regular hospital room, and I was able to lay with him and do whatever I wanted to do once we were back in our own room, because Bear did not have to go to the NICU. Bear didn't have to leave my side at all, and it was super awesome. It was one of the best things about Barret's birth, honestly, because it was so sad that kind of stuff happened with my older two. I just assumed it was going to happen this time around, but it didn't, which was awesome. How soon did you breastfeed him? So I guess we started trying, whenever we got back to the room, so it might have been half an hour after he was born, 45 minutes or something. That actually, my C-section with him took a lot longer than my other two, so it might have been maybe an hour or an hour and a half. Maybe I should look at the picture. I think I took a picture the first time I nursed him, so let me go see. It wasn't the first time I nursed him, but I have a picture from 11:45 that night of him nursing, and he was born at like 7 something. So yeah, so that wasn't the first picture, but yeah, it was probably only like an hour and a half maybe. Like we started trying as soon as we got back to our own room, which is very important. Me and Bear have had such a better breastfeeding journey, and maybe it comes down to the fact that I was able to start nursing him immediately, whereas with the older two, because Calvin was sent off to the NICU, Aaron was also sent off the NICU, and after Aaron's C-section, I felt gross. It was terrible. I didn't want, it was terrible. So at least this time around with Barret, I got to nurse really soon after he was born, and our breastfeeding journey has been really, really awesome compared to the older two, so maybe that has something to do with it. Did you let people come visit the baby? So it was COVID time when Bear was born, so I don't even know if they were allowing visitors, but we didn't have any visitors. We didn't ask anybody to come. We were only there for like 2 days, which was much shorter than my older 2 boys. I feel like we were there for like ever with Calvin and Aaron, but we didn't have visitors in the hospital. But the day we got home, so my older 2 were staying with my husband's parents, and they came over to drop the boys off, and they got to visit the baby. So yeah, like as soon as we got home, we had the grandparents over, and then I think my parents, I asked them to wait until the next day to come over, just because, you know, I didn't want too much going on. Now I do want to give a little bit of story time along with that. With my first son, Calvin, we got to spend time with him for 1 hour after he was born, and then he was sent to the NICU. And we knew we kind of knew that was what was going to happen. And so all of my family, like all my family, you know, my sisters, my parents, Justin's mom, you know, everybody was at the hospital while I was in labor with him, when I started pushing with him. And then I ended up, you know, pushing forever and nothing happened. And then we ended up in a C-section. So it was many hours that my whole family was at the hospital just waiting on me. And that was a horrible experience, I have to say. That was just not cool at all. I felt like they were waiting on me, and I felt bad because it had taken so long, and then I ended up in a C-section, and it was going to take even longer before they could meet the baby, you know. So that first experience with my first son sucked, and so with my second baby, I didn't want anybody there until like you guys just chill out and then we will let you know, you know. So we did have visitors with my second baby at the hospital, but it wasn't like an immediate thing. It wasn't like soon, like we weren't gonna have everybody there while I was like in labor. So I did try, I pushed with my second baby as well, but we ended up in another C-section. So yeah, I just didn't, and I kind of was worried about the same thing happening again that time, you know, so I didn't have anybody there for my second either. Or well, no, like not during labor, and then after he was actually born, then we had visitors. But honestly, I gotta say, I know it's like kind of, I don't know, it's maybe a controversial thing to say, I really enjoyed this last time where we didn't have any visitors at all because of COVID. So it was nice, just, you know, almost like a vacation for me and my husband. We don't have to deal with the older kids. It's just me and Justin and the new baby. And that was nice, just being at the hospital together. Now, you know, once you're at the hospital for a couple of days, you start getting stir crazy and you're like, just let me go home. But it was super nice, this experience, because COVID, like, we were only there for 2 days. They were kind of like kicking us out early. We didn't have any visitors. I don't know. It was just a really nice experience being in the hospital with just me and my husband and the new baby. So I would say, like, for that kind of stuff, if you're kind of like on the fence, like maybe I shouldn't have visitors at the hospital, just don't do it, you know? Wait, you know, if you go a couple days and you haven't had visitors and you're like, maybe, you know, let's have somebody come over for this last day, like we're bored, we don't have anything to do, you know, because it gets boring just sitting around in the hospital, then go ahead and have some visitors. But don't make it such a big deal, you know. If you don't want visitors, just ask everybody not to come, you know, or tell people wait until we ask you to come. That's really, you know, that's what it's all about, is waiting until you're ready to have visitors. Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel guilty about it. Like I said, I felt so bad and guilty with my first baby. Don't do that. What pump do you like? I have the Medela Pump in Style Advanced, and it's fine. It works, you know, it's, you know, a big double breast pump. It's the one that I've had since my first kiddo. It's what I took to work every day for ever and ever, you know, so I've used it for a long time. It's still working great. I don't really use it very much. Like, I just used it this morning because I'm going to be dropping Barret off with grandma in a couple of days, so I needed some milk kind of stored up. But yeah, I don't really use it very often. I do have just like a little hand pump, and then just like a single electric one, and then I have like the Lancino kind of Haka one. I think that they all have their own little pros and cons, I guess, different situations that you might want one or the other. So I really don't know, like, everybody's context, you know, like what kind of situation you're in. Are you a stay-at-home mom? Are you a working mom? If you're a working mom, you need to get like a heavy duty, like I would totally recommend the Medela Pump and Style Advanced that I have. Like, I would totally recommend that for somebody who's a working mom who needs to pump all the freaking time, because it's held up perfectly well over the last 5 years. But if you're a stay-at-home mom and you do not want to, you know, ever drop baby off with somebody else, if you like want to be with baby all the time, and anytime you have an appointment you take baby so they can nurse and stuff like that, you might not really need anything other than just the kind of like milk collector, like the Lancino one is one I have, or like the Hako one. Those are really nice in those like newborn days, because your boobies are still trying to regulate anyway. They're going to be producing that extra milk, so it's nice to have something to just collect it. And then also in those early days, like I said, your boobies are just trying to figure things out, and so sometimes you're like really engorged. It might be nice to just have I have a single electric pump that I can use on, like, if one boobie's really engorged, baby drank off this one but not this one, then I can just use that little electric pump to do the one boobie and not both of them, you know, and not have to wash as many parts as getting out the big double pump, you know. So yeah, I think that the H pump has its own pros and cons and different situations that you would use them in. So yeah, it's really hard for me to say like what's my favorite. Did you meal prep meals, like freezer meals, for when baby was born? So I did do some, and it wasn't like I did like a full day where I'm cooking all of these things and freezing them. It was just every once in a while. Like I might make a lasagna and save, and we only ate part of it, so I saved the rest of it in the freezer. So my husband was home for the first 2 weeks after Barret was born, and I had some stuff stashed in the freezer, and I intentionally did not touch that stuff in the freezer because I wanted it to be available to me once my husband went back to work and I was like a little more stretched for time, you know? So I didn't use any of the freezer stuff up while my husband was still home with us because, you know, one of us could take over. I don't even know if we really like cooked much of anything. We ordered a lot of things maybe, or just like made really simple meals. I don't remember exactly what we were eating in those 2 weeks, but I didn't use the freezer meals until after my husband went back to work, and I knew I was going to, you know, lunchtime was going to be a little bit stressful with just me and the kids, you know, and I could just get something out of the freezer and make it. So I didn't really make like dinners for us. I mostly made like my meals, like lunches and stuff for me while my husband was at work. But honestly, Barret has been a super awesome little dude. I don't think I've ever had a moment where I was like making dinner and he was like so, you know, like frazzled that I couldn't finish making dinner. Like I feel like he's been really chill. Barret has been an amazing little baby. It's like ridiculous. I don't know what I've done to deserve having such an awesome little dude. But yeah, things have just been really easy this time around. I feel like that answer was like all over the place. I hope that I kind of answered your question. Okay, so this next question I will do a full video on. I'm planning to do a full video on it, but let's just answer it right here. So she's asking what one size brands like diapers fit on Barret the soonest. So I have my list right here. UnderTogs All-in-One, which is an Etsy shop, and she doesn't have any items listed right now, but you can message her and she'll do custom stuff. She'll make them if you ask her to. Bungies fit pretty good. The Cutie Patootie and Bungies are very similar style, so they both fit pretty good once the umbilical stump is gone. So I'm totally talking about stuff that's after the belly button has healed up, because I don't have any one size stuff that was going to fit underneath the belly button. So this is all stuff that's after the belly button is normal, you know. The Diaper Right All-in-One, Happy Behinds Regal, and the hybrid from Happy Behinds, and an elf cover. So those are all the things I have listed right here that were really great, that fit really great on such a tiny baby. That was like surprising, you know? So those are some of the items that have worked out for us. She asks how big was he when they started fitting. So Barret lost his umbilical stump like right around 2 weeks old. So that's when I started trying out more diapers once his belly button had healed up. Do pre-flats contain newborn/breastfed poop? Yes, they do. They do just as well as flats or pre-folds folded around. If you're folding a flat around baby, or if you're wrapping a pre-fold around baby, or if you're using a pre-flat around baby, those all contain the poo just the same. But if you're looking for something to like super duper duper contain the poo, fitteds are the way to go. They will always hold in poo. Yes, the other items, flats, pre-folds, pre-flats, they all hold in the poo pretty much, but the cover is really that extra barrier, you know? Fitteds, like when I put fitteds on the kids, like it's like very, very rare that the poo escapes the fitted onto the cover. So a fitted plus a cover is like totally blowout proof, like totally. So with like flats, pre-flats and pre-folds. It's like so confusing saying all those things. And you're actually wrapping them around baby and pinning them or snapping them on. Every once in a while the poo will escape from that and get onto the cover, but you know, it's not going to escape totally out of the diaper. The cover is just that little extra bit of protection on there. So yeah, every once in a while it will come out of those folded flats or pre-flats or pre-folds, but yeah, fitteds are bulletproof. Okay, I think we're getting down to the last couple questions. This video is gonna be so big, I can't believe it. As a mom that did both disposables and cloth, how much of a difference is it really? She says, I know the obvious of having to do laundry versus just throwing the diaper away, but you obviously prefer cloth. Why do I prefer cloth? I guess that's kind of what she's asking. Cloth diapers are fun. Honestly, that's the first thing. They're adorable. They're fun to collect. I just have like a collector mind, I guess. Like I used to like have a massive makeup collection because I love collecting new makeup. I love when new makeup comes out and I had to get my hands on it and I had to try it first. You know, that was my thing before I had kids. And then when Cal was like 9 months old, I magically discovered cloth diapers because a friend of mine had kind of just on a whim just kind of mentioned it, and I started looking into it and I was like, that sounds pretty cool. And because they're so adorable, the adorable prints on covers and stuff, like that's what drew me in, man. Collecting different diapers, trying new diapers, just the fun, cutesy aspect of it. That's honestly the #1 reason why I continue to do cloth diaper stuff. But it also has a lot to do with this YouTube channel as well. You know, I love this little community that we've created here. Being able to talk to you guys about cloth diapers and stuff is so much fun. Like, I can't even explain it. Being on Instagram and seeing everybody else's kiddos in cute, adorable little diapers, like, it's awesome. It's tons of fun. So that's it. I know it's a silly reason to cloth diaper. Yeah, sometimes the laundry can get overwhelming. Like I remember when I had 2 in cloth with my older 2, that sucked. That was a lot of laundry. Even now, like I don't really look forward to laundry. I don't know why. I like when the kids hit the toddler stage and I'm using like all flats and covers all the time, that laundry's easy peasy. I love it. I love seeing a pile of flats coming fresh out of the dryer. It's just beautiful. I love it. But like, I don't know, right now where Bear's like wearing a variety of diapers where I have a bunch of fitteds and I have a bunch of random inserts and I have a bunch of flats and I have like pre-folds, I have like a big variety of diapers coming out of the wash. For some reason, I don't like folding that. I don't like having like a million different stacks of the different types of diapers, you know? I like having a very streamlined, you know, these are the flats, these are the covers, good to go. But disposables were really just like, it really made you see how much trash your baby is making already as a tiny little baby, you know? Like we had one of those like diaper genie things where you throw the disposable in there and then it like seals it up in this big trash bag and you throw it away. And the amount of times per week we were taking this giant trash bag full of diapers and throwing it in the trash and seeing how much of our large trash can was filled with just diaper bags, it was ridiculous. And it made me really just like, holy crap, my little person isn't even like moving around yet and he's already creating this much waste. Like I thought about that kind of stuff when Calvin was little, but I really didn't even know anything about modern cloth diapers. I had no idea what the world was like in the cloth diaper community. I just wasn't exposed to it. And so I hope that at least some of you guys here are like maybe some of you who are pregnant or like, you know, thinking about trying to make a baby. I hope that at least this channel has kind of at least given you the thought, like cloth is an option. Even if you don't want a cloth diaper, at least you are given your options, you know that it's out there. I really didn't even, I don't know why, it never really occurred to me that cloth diapering was an option. When I was pregnant with my first baby, when I had my first baby, it wasn't until he was 9 months old that I even looked into it at all, just because a friend randomly kind of mentioned it. So yeah, I don't have a good reason for why we cloth diaper. You know, I mean, of course, the environment, you know, seeing all that trash is ridiculous. It's all adorable. I mean, that's a big one because it's super cute. It does save money. If you just invest in like a normal little stash, it could save you a ton of money, but I don't think we're really saving money at this point because I have this YouTube channel and I buy diapers to review for you guys. So I don't think we're saving money anymore. But yeah, if you have like, you know, 3 kiddos and you use all the diapers you used with kiddo number 1, like you're gonna save a ton of money. So there's lots of reasons to cloth diaper, but my personal reason is just because they're adorable and it's fun to collect diapers. All right, last question for today. Like I said, if you have more questions, leave them down below, and if we have plenty, I'll do another one of these videos. How far apart are all of the boys? Do you find one age gap easier with a newborn than another? My boys are 22 months apart, and it's hard right now. Yes, my Calvin and Aaron were 22 months apart too, and it was hard. This transition with Barret has been a million times easier than it was with my first 2. So Calvin and Aaron, 1 and 2, are 22 months apart. Aaron and Barret, 2 and 3, are 3 years and 1 month. And this 3 years has been an awesome age gap. I don't know what it is. It's awesome. You know, Aaron's already potty trained. We're not having a bunch of accidents. Over the winter, we had a bunch of accidents with him, and it was very, very stressful. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this needs to stop before the new baby comes. And it did, thank goodness. So we've gotten past all of that with Aaron, my middle baby. So yeah, the 3-year gap has been wonderful, I must say. In the days when I just had, you know, when I had my second baby and I was newly a mom of 2 and they were only 22 months apart, that was hard. They were both still in diapers. It was a lot of diaper laundry. There was even, you know, a couple weeks where I bought disposables because I just didn't even want to deal with the stinking laundry with 2 of them. Plus, you know, not just diaper laundry, but like everybody else's laundry too. You know, all the swaddle blankets and burp rags and stuff like that. New babies make a lot of laundry, guys. So yeah, that was tough. I totally feel ya, mama. Like, holy crap. 22 months was much less fun than 3 years has been. This transition has been awesome this time, and I do have, it may already be up, a video all about the transition from 2 kiddos to 3 kiddos, and it's a very positive video. If you're looking for something that's gonna make you happy, go and watch that video, because my personal, you know, our family's personal experience going from 2 kiddos to 3 kiddos has been wonderful, amazing, super duper awesome, and I attribute a lot of it to the fact that Barret has been a wonderful little baby. He's just a really good baby, I have to be honest. So that's it for today's video. Holy cow, this is a super duper big video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you found at least something a little bit helpful, educational, entertaining, or something in this video. So give the video a thumbs up if you did like it. Let me know what other content you want to see here on this channel, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.